Hello, 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 beautiful people. Hello, hello, hello. I am very hopeful that I'm actually live. I have bounced on and off a couple of times. You guys, what I'm trying to do, just so you know, we have been live a number of times with no issues, but I believe, at least I hope, that I am live on my TikTok. So that is the reason I am, a little discombobulated because I'm going live on my TikTok from my desktop. My YouTube folks, my Twitter people, let me take a look and see if everybody is lined up. You guys, we don't want the first Nights with NICCI back after a long hiatus to be jacked up. So let me just make sure that I'm live on all these various platforms because y'all know I like to talk to my people when I'm live, and I like to make sure that everybody's getting it. And I do not see myself live on Worth TV. That is not a good thing. Let me see here, guys. Let's see. So much is going on. So much is going on. You guys, please tell me where you are watching me from. Let me see if I can figure out how to get this chat up. I'm using a different streaming software because I had issues with my previous software. So I'm going to show some comments in the stream. If you can see me and I'm live on Twitter, put a Y in the chat for yes. I do not know. Is this a live or is that a live re-air? Y'all listen. Lord Jesus, bear with me, honey. The only way to test these new feeds is to actually be live. So I am hoping. Okay, I'm live. I see one of y'all watching me on the WIRF.TV YouTube channel. Let me check and see if my Twitter is up and running as well. You guys, I hope y'all can hear me okay. Can I get a thumbs up if you guys can hear me okay? That would be fantastic. Let me check my Twitter. Okay, hello, Dexter. I see you in the chat over there. Hi, Dexter. How are you? Thank you for being the solo artist on this here cruise tonight. I appreciate you. All right, let me see here. Let me look and see what is going on with my X account. Yes, I believe that I am. Am I? Oh yeah. Is she? Is she? Yes, she is live on X as well. I got one person watching me live from X. Thank you very much. I can appreciate you there. Let's see if we are live on Instagram. And then it looks like maybe we'll be live everywhere. We're not live on Instagram. Oh well. All right, one last one I have to check real quick before we get into this thing is to see if we are live on our Facebook page. Um, let's see. Are we live? We are not live on the Facebook page, I don't think. Hold on, y'all. Thank you guys for being a part of this experiment. It don't sound right to say it that way, does it? But that's what it is. I'm actually using a new streaming software because the one that shall remain nameless, because I'm going to assume that they're going to help me get this whole thing together. Because, yeah, all of a sudden it's issues. But anyway, okay, so it is not live on Facebook yet. All right, guys. So at least we're live on WIRF.TV YouTube channel. I believe that we are live on the TikTok, which, hey TikTok, how are you guys? I hate that. Thank you, Dexter. Thank you so much. I don't know what's going on. I know what's going on. The owners of the algorithm are back at it. They back at it because they know we got this writ of certiorari in the United States Supreme Court, and they know that we are not taking our foot off the gas, honey. We're not doing that. We're going full throttle, right? Even if this is the last week of full throttleism, we are going full throttle. Tonight we're drinking Topo Chico while we wait for a couple of people to come up in here. Ooh, it's like a Sprite, you guys. You're gonna watch me here make a Sprite on international TV. Baby, it ain't national TV no more. It's international TV. I don't have the lime, but I do have lemon. This is what we finna do. Do it away from my computer because that would be a terrible accident to have. Y'all, thank you guys if you tuned in earlier today and you watched my live on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. TikTok, I've been trying to get you guys on the desktop, and I think I got you all on the desktop right now. Oh, you didn't get a notification? See? They working overtime, y'all. They working overtime because they know that the Supreme Court of the United States is going to grant that writ of certiorari. Y'all know, since it's just a couple of us in here anyway, hopefully some more people will come and join. I couldn't even put my Nice with Nikki logo, but y'all know what y'all watching. I don't know what's going on. I've had all sorts of computer issues, honey. The UDA is mad right now. The UDA is mad right now. So they definitely are not sending out my notifications. My account has been reported a couple of times over the last few days because, I'm out here in these streets doing the good work. And it's always an issue when we're doing the good work. But we're here. We are here. And I am so grateful for the people who are in the room. You guys, can y'all tell me if the audio is okay? Can you give me a thumbs up? I may have asked that question already. If I did, then charge it to my head, not my heart. Y'all, it's been a really busy week. It's been a really super duper busy week. There have been some really cool things happening. Things that I'm super excited about and super proud of. One of those things is that my sorority, which is why I'm representing Sigma Gamma Rho. Oh, I'm freezing up. Why am I freezing up? That's a damn good question. I couldn't even begin to tell you. I don't know. Like I said, honey, I got a whole writ in the Supreme Court of the United States of America. Is if the freezing is bad, I'm gonna go and try. Okay, so the audio is good. All right. I don't know. I don't know, guys. I don't want to come off the live. Hello, Kyra. How are you? If it continues to freeze up, hold on, let me text my producer real quick. If it continues to freeze up, then I'll go back to the normal app that I use to broadcast. I just really wanted to try going live with TikTok, and the only app that allows me to do the live on TikTok is the one that I'm on now. I'm not promoting none of them right now though, because all of them really getting on my damn nerves. But these apps are vulnerable too. Let's just say that and be politically correct. Hold on. I'm asking my co-executive producer if I'm freezing. So let me just get on into it. First of all, thank you guys for coming. I hope you had an opportunity to check out my previous live. In the previous live, it was a breakdown, an AI breakdown of my case against Lionsgate and P-Valley. And I'd like to share that breakdown because that breakdown is very straightforward. When I talk about it, a lot of times I get emotional because, who wouldn't? It's a whole situation going on out here in these internet streets. I'm sorry, in these litigation streets. So of course, I get a little emotional about it when I talk about it. So I did my AI breakdown. My team put together a really good AI breakdown, and I'm really grateful that we have an opportunity to share that. So for those of you who don't know, the court reviewed my case on Monday, September 29th in their long conference with the Supreme Court of the United States of America. And during that conference, they made a decision as to whether or not they're going to allow me to go forward. Now, I know that there are a lot of things happening out here in the world today. I know that the court is inundated and overwhelmed with other cases, things that they may deem way more important than my writ of certiorari against Lionsgate and Stars. However, this is very important. It is a very important issue. Copyright infringement, copyright law is so relevant today, more relevant today than I think ever, just because for those of you who don't know, this here content creator economy is $250 billion. Okay. It's ridiculous how much money is being made through the content industry, creative industry, right? And if we start allowing people to infringe on the intellectual property rights of creatives, basically what we are doing is we are saying that people who don't have a lot of money, that would be me. Y'all should see the stack of bills I got in the mail today. Ooh, baby. She got, can you pay my bills? Can you pay my telephone bills? Can you pay my automobile? Maybe, baby, we could chill. I don't think you do. So you and me are through. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Mm, tons of bills, including all the legal fees that I am required to pay because, oh, not freezing up on your end, Dexter. Thank you very much. Including all the legal fees that I am unfortunately required to pay to the people that I took to task. And that would be Lionsgate, Stars, P Valley, and Katori Hall. But see, the thing about the situation is, as I stated numerous times before, and I say before, BEFOE, before. As I have stated many times before, this ain't it. We not. There have been so many things that held us down, but now it looks like things are finally coming around. I know we got a long, long way to go, and where we'll end up, I don't know. But we won't let nothing hold us back. We're putting ourselves together, gonna follow, polishing up our act. Well, if you've ever been held down before, I know you refuse to be held down anymore. Well, don't you let nothing stand in your way. I want y'all to listen to every word I say, every word I say. Ain't no stopping us now. No, no, no. We're on the move. What? Stop playing. We're on the move. Ain't no stopping us right here, baby. Ain't no stopping us at this point. You feel me? Because number one, mom and daddy didn't raise no punk. Fighting for my intellectual property rights is in my DNA. It is my rite of passage. It is something that I am not going to just allow to go quietly into the night without some kind of friction and fraction being kicked up in these dusty ass Hollywood streets. You feel me? Mm-mm. We ain't finna do it. Y'all listen real quick. I digress. First of all, y'all like my Sigma Island Escape cup. I got this from one of my sorors. This tastes just like a Sprite. Lemon, Topo Chico, sparkling water. Now, if you want to put something a little sweet in it, like a little honey or something, you know, to give it a little whoop-de whoop and wop de wop, then do. But baby, this right here, like a homemade Sprite. I told you, the only thing I'm missing is the lime. Throw you a little pineapple in there. Make your own soda, baby. Make your own soda with mineral water. But back to this whole me talking greasy about this litigation and what is happening. Yeah, I just come too far to turn back. I spent the week last week in Washington D.C. I had pictures and stuff that I was going to drop into this broadcast, you guys, but unfortunately, I don't know. I'm not too well versed with this new streaming software, so as I become more familiar with it, I will start dropping some things in. But right now, I'm just going to keep it simple. Okay, so forgive me. Just like my hair, I had to take my weave out and give my hair some air. I'm giving a little Fraggle Rock, but you know it'll do. Natural girls rock. But yeah, I've come too far. My family has come too far. We've invested too much. If you did watch the AI breakdown of my appeal in the Ninth Circuit, I do appreciate you. You know, right now, I am sure that there are people out there who wonder why this girl don't just let it go. Just let go. Let it flow, let it flow, let it flow. Everything gonna work out right, you know. I'm picking a lot of lower register songs, right? Why won't I let it go? I won't let it go because it is too important to the future of copyright litigation. It is too important to future creatives who are wondering whether or not they stand a chance at justice. You know, the bottom line is, on the one hand, I'm grateful that this has happened to me. I know it sounds crazy. I know it sounds a little few ticks away from a boom, right? But it's real because I wouldn't be where I am today. I would not be pursuing some of the things that I am pursuing. I'm not going to talk to y'all about those things now. And the reason why is because y'all can pretty much figure. I mean, I was just on the Hill, um, just in senators' offices and whatnot, having conversations with the movers and the shakers and the legislation, the lawmakers, and my sorority sisters, and all sorts of incredible Black women who lead, and Black men. And I have been led to a pivot in my life, and I've been led to a pivot in my career. And I'm still going to be here. Oh, she's still going to be here promoting Black women owned brands like the lip bar, which is what I happen to be wearing on my lips tonight. Do I need a touch up? Am I good? Why not? A little touch up ain't never hurt nobody. I got my line a little crooked. But yeah, I'm working on a pivot, you guys, and I kind of feel like it may be part of the purpose. It may be part of the whole reason why I went down this road with P Valley, maybe part of the reason why I, was chosen by this litigation, because I say all the time, I didn't choose this lawsuit. This lawsuit chose me. I didn't choose this fight. This fight chose me. And I think, any creative out there who is thinking about pursuing your creative justice, we're going to work to make it easier for all of us. We are. We have built a really solid team of people. We have built a really fantastic, or our building, should I say. I don't want to be cart before the horse-ish. You feel me? We are building a really incredible team of people, a really awesome group of individuals who really care about the community, who really care about, artists and creatives. I posted earlier today, from Prince to Nina Simone to Ella Fitzgerald to Billie Holiday, to Michael Jackson to Aretha Franklin to Nina Simone. So many creatives and so many artists have fought for so many years for their intellectual property rights. And unfortunately, many of them have either lost, grown weary, self-medicated as a result of the torture, because it is indeed torture. It is hell. It is hell, yeah. To the yeah, yeah, yeah. Hell to the yeah. Hell to the yeah. This shit is hard as hell. It's so difficult. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. I would. I wouldn't. Mm-mm. If I could choose for the billionaires to not have to go through this, the very ones that I'm in the case with, if I could have clapped my hand, clicked my heels together 3 times and had them people going ahead and do right by me, well, none of this been happening and none of this would be, a part of the story. But this is the story. This is the journey. This is what God has for me. This is what I have been chosen, selected, charged with amplifying and advocating for. So I got a big ass mouth, as many of you know. I do. Knock knees, black guns and all, right? And I am not going to stop being vocal about this, because what happened to me is, I believe, a miscarriage of justice. I believe that it is so unfair. Not only that I don't get to go forward to trial, right? Unless the Supreme Court rules in my favor and grants the writ of certiorari, I don't go forward, right? And it's crazy because earlier today, when I aired the AI comparison from my appeals video, right? Worth news. News worth sharing. I love that. I love it, baby. Ooh, we got some good stuff coming for y'all. Despite what is going on this very day, we got some really We got some really amazing stuff happening. Said Nikki went from A to B to C and then she jumped to C. I'm sorry, to Q. She'll blow our minds with creative things she's gonna do. Honey, I like it. I like it. Let me quit hitting this mic because I know it's irritating the shit out of y'all. Yeah, I'm a very creative person. I love creating great content. I love sharing stories. I'm a storyteller in case you guys haven't noticed. Yes, I've been in this industry for over 30 years. So I have a lot of stories, but I don't believe that stories have to break or tear people down. I think, when you tell the truth, sometimes, a byproduct of your truth is that, some people feel a certain way about it. Some people may look at it as though you're trying to break them down or you're trying to stop their bag or you're trying to do some shit like that. But at the end of the day, I am proud of this journey. There's certain parts of it I would, certain parts of it I'll be like, okay, Jesus, can I trade this for that? But I saw a movie many years ago called The Butterfly Effect. And I've always used this movie as a reference point for decisions and things that happen in my life and in my career and um not feeling like changing one or two things that I didn't like um is necessary for me to feel like I operated from a place of purpose and made the best decisions I possibly could, and that is what is supposed to have happened. And it's really hard because, like I said, when I think about my sister Maxie dying, when I think about my sister Debbie dying from brain cancer in March, when I think about my parents going back to back 90 days apart, obviously the human side of me says, damn, I could reach back and make those things go away if I could change that. If I could just, if that one thing didn't happen, if I turned left when I should have turned right, the movie Butterfly Effect, basically what I got from it, and everybody may get something a little different, but one of the things I got from the film is that, your fate, what is for you, right? It's kind of like the movie Butterfly Effect and the movie Final Destination, have a similar through line. If it's for you, if it's something that you're supposed to experience, you're going to experience it. The way that you navigate, if that is at all possible, what your experiences will be or predetermine if that's possible. I don't think it is. Or just have some little bit of what you believe is a semblance of control over what your choices are or what your ultimate fate will be. We do things like eat right. We try to treat people right. We try to keep our karma good. We try to stay positive. We try to sow positive things into the universe and share positive things with people, right? With hopes that that is what the universe will give you back. And that is how I live my life. I don't live my life wishing, I could go back and change certain things, wishing I was thinner, wishing I didn't sign that contract uh, with the people who, robbed us. I wishing that I didn't go and pitch my idea with the CEO of the company. Like any one of those little things that you change could change the whole trajectory of your life, right? Pausing for just a few seconds longer before you go out the door because that could save you from having a car accident. So because we can't just go and be picking all the little things that we would like to change that happened in our lives that we think will put us on a better pathway to more success, I just choose not to say I want to change anything. I choose to believe that the steps that I'm taking, as long as it's coming from the right place and it is not um, motivated by greed or hostility or anger or bad vibes and bad energy, right? As long as it's coming from a place of like, and that doesn't mean it has to be right, right? Um, it just needs to be what you believe in that moment is the best thing, is the right thing, right? And when we're young and we're making certain decisions, we don't have all the information. What is it they say? Certain stuff is not even developed. You know what I mean? Like we don't even understand how to comprehend what our decisions will or how our decisions will impact and affect us as we get older. But as a 55-year-old woman who proof in the pudding, as a 55-year-old woman who grew up with a lot of insecurities, I pushed through anyway. Hi, Victoria, you didn't get notifications. You know what? It's so many people that did not get notifications, you guys. So please share the live. I don't know what's going on, but My notifications are not going out because several people have come in here and said they didn't get them. I don't know what to say about that. Maybe it's because I'm using a new streaming situation. Maybe it's because I have a writ of certiorari in the United States Supreme Court and the order is going to be given out on Monday. But either way, we still here. Either way, we're still showing up. And could you guys please share this video if you're watching us from a platform like TikTok or where else are we? I think we're on link. Let me see. Are we on LinkedIn? Let me check and see if I'm on my LinkedIn platform. I know I'm not on Facebook and I'm not on Insta. I checked that and I was not there. Honey, she wasn't there. But let me see. Hi. I was wondering what some of my regulars were. But you know what's crazy? It's maybe because I've been gone for so long, or maybe because I don't know, honey. I don't know. I'm not gonna try to figure it out. I'm just grateful for those of you who are here. What's going on? It's not showing me. Oh, I am. Okay. Thank you guys. So it looks like I am live on LinkedIn as well. So thank you. I'm live on TikTok. I'm live on Twitter. Sorry, I'm live on X. Eli gonna fire my ass. I'm live on X. I'm live on LinkedIn. And I'm live on WIRF.tv. So Facebook and Instagram. I'll see you guys next time. Okay. Can you talk about the ragamuffin breakdown and that song, Sometimes Dancing? How that came about? You added the perfect touch to the stellar jam. Okay, let's shift gears a little bit and talk about some old school R&B trivia. Why not, honey? So it's really interesting. The song Sometimes Dancing, which, you know, is always going to be one of my favorite Brownstone jams, you guys. Rest in peace, Maxie. I love you so much, sister. I love you with my whole heart and I miss you so much. Ooh, child, honey, I've been through some trauma. I've experienced some loss in this here life of mine. Wouldn't change it. Um, that does not mean that, you know, I don't like it. I hate it and I wish it didn't happen. But, you know, you have to be careful. Back to my point real quick. You never know, like, you say, God, why did that happen? I want this person back. I want this person to not be ill. I want this person to not have walked into that room and this happened to them. And then it gets passed on to someone else, or you experience it in a different way. And I just want to say this real quick, and then I'm gonna tell you the Brownstone story and kind of shift up a little bit. But it's really important for us to understand that none of us is getting out of here alive, not one single one of us. And if you happen to be one of the lucky ones who lives forever, or, you know, like some of these uh, incredible centurions that have lived for like 100 plus years, um, what is life when everything you know and love and remember, you know, has transitioned to the heavenly choir, right? We are here for sometimes a reason, a season, and sometimes the lifetimes are, you know, not exactly, they don't go according to what we would like to see. But that is the reason why every single day that we are here, and it sounds very cliche, but I understand it differently. There's always going to be time to grieve. Grief is something that is just such a part of my life. It is such a part of my existence. It's just who I am. It's built into my DNA. I'm going to grieve all of the people that I have lost, as everybody else here is going to grieve the people that they love that they lost. It's just a part of the deal. What we have to do is make sure that while we're here in this shell, uh, interacting with other shells and spirits, that we just do it in the most positive, you know, grateful, optimistic way that we can. Because there's always going to be something to cry about. There's always going to be some hurtful sugar honey iced tea that we wish we did not have to experience. But the truth is, the price you pay for love is the pain of losing it, you know, and that is just that. And ask me if I would give up those experiences and those wonderful relationships and those laughs and those memories, if I would give those up in exchange for, you know, more time. Why? Because then you don't know love. You don't know the value of what it means to keep people alive in your heart and in your soul and in your spirit. And as long as, we're saying their names, as long as we're pushing forward and being positive and seeing light at the end of the tunnel, we are honoring all the people we lost, all the things we lost. So that's my preachy moment for tonight. Let me tell you about how this song came up, especially since we got an oil painting by of Bob Marley. My husband painted this Bob Marley oil painting. I think I am half Jamaican. And my husband also painted this one over here. This is Diana Flyana Ross. And I can't change or move the camera, but he also painted that amazing picture of Michael Jackson over there. So my husband is dope AF. Matter of fact, hold on, I got a way I can show y'all. I have a way that I can show y'all this picture. Hold on for me for 1 second. Please hit like as you come in, because obviously folks are not getting their notifications. So if you hit like, baby, then at least people will know. You will know. Troubled heart, problems have solutions. Trust and I will show. Yes. All right, guys. That's the picture. Y'all don't know if y'all can see it. Oh, should I pull it back? That's the picture of MJ. Y'all can't really see it. You can't get a full appreciation for it. Oh, wait. If I do it like that, maybe you can. I don't know. Anyway, that's a picture of MJ that my husband had did. And yes, his art is for sale, honey. Except these are a part of the set. So you can't have them. These are part of Nights with NICCI, which I, again, don't have my logo. Please forgive me. Sometimes dancing, baby. So actually, the song came up because Maxie actually in real life fell in love with the producer. What's really crazy is, for me, it was 5 Miles to Empty. I was dating the producer of 5 Miles to Empty, honey. Took my ass to the studio one night and found him up in there with another. Maxie was like, "Don't cry, Nikki. Let's write a song about it." Looked at the gas tank and I was like, "Yeah, we about to run out of gas. We 5 miles to empty." So that's how that came. How Sometimes Dancing came along is Maxie and the producer fell for each other very, very hard. And we're just in the studio kind of vibing to the tracks. You know what I mean? And, just kind of like Maxie was winding it up. Obviously Maxie's always been very sexy, very exotic. She's from South America. She gave you greater Sade vibes. Oh my God. If she only released an album. I've been trying to get her to do either an album of lullabies, because she has a lullaby voice, or an album of like West Indian, what we know now as Afro, beats type thing. And Maxie wanted to do EDM, so she did a couple EDM records, but I digress. So she's vibing and she's just winding it up or whatever, and like the producer's looking at her like, he's just like, "I'm sorry, you're beautiful." I was like, "Oh, I fell in love. Sometimes Dancing." And guess what? There was a song. So finish that song off. This is always about experience, baby, right? Say it, do it, show it, prove it, honey. Heard it through the grapevine. You ain't told too fine. That was based on a true story too. But I remember the chant. Maxie kept telling me, I was like, "I want to chant, I want to chant, I want to chant." And she's like, "Nikki, you can't chant. You got the Detroit whatever." She would tease me about my Detroit accent, because we say $5. We going to the stove. Livernois, right? 8 Mile, not mile, mile, MOW. So I said, "No, but I want to do it. I want to do it. Show me how to do it." And she was like, "Well, write something, write something." And so I did. And she showed me, she said, "Guan, boy, me dancing." Boy, me dancing, gonna make you, no, it's not gonna make you go crazy. It's Guan, boy, me dancing, Guan. So it's crazy because Maxie was trying to teach me how to use the, I don't know, it's a patois. I don't know what it is, but whatever the accent is, to have a Jamaican accent for Sometimes Dancing. And it was bootleg AF. It was. I'll go ahead on it in a minute. It was very bootleg AF. But somehow the record company let that shit stay in there, and the rest is history. So that is where that's where the record, "Boy, me dancing on make you go crazy." And I was saying crazy. I was saying crazy. Now she's like, no, you gotta say crazy. Gone through every wait, gone true. What's the other one? Gone through every move to keep your daydreaming. Not going through every move to keep your daydreaming. Boy, you only have me body for one night. It's gonna make you move, gonna make you groove, and you feel all right. Hey, baby, stop playing. Patrick ain't got nothing on me. Shabba Ranks ain't got nothing on me. But that was what was big back in the day, guys. It was like now how Afro beats is so huge. Back in the 90s, we had so many great Jamaican artists. Shout out to Vivian Scott Chu. Vivian was a really instrumental piece of um, people understanding the value, especially at Epic. Um, what's the lyrics? Boy, me dancing is gonna make you go crazy. Going through every move to keep you daydreaming. Boy, you only have me body for one night. Gonna make you move, gonna make you groove, and you feel all right. That's the lyrics. And we repeat it with a little harmony. But Vivian Scott True, I just remember like the little vicious freak at the freak of the week. It got the a freak of the week, baby. What? Shabba Ranks, Patra, so many people, man. So many people. So many dope, incredible people in the reggae space during that time. So super grateful for the 90s because it just really molded us into well-developed artists who put out good music that you guys are still able to enjoy to this day. So very grateful for that. Super excited. You're welcome, Zebo. Thank you. I'm very excited, super excited about what that has meant, for music. To be in this industry for 31 years. But it's been a journey, you guys. A lot of times, you want anybody else who would be in any industry, in any business for that amount of time, you planning your 401k, you planning your retirement, you planning, to be able to chill out and spend time with your family. Baby, I'm somebody's whole. I have two grandchildren. Hello. And I want to be grandma, but I have to stay on that road. Angie Stone talked about it. It's a real thing. What it takes to be able to maintain your life and your family's, welfare in this industry is just, man, y'all. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. It is a full time commitment, and at some point, you want to start pivoting, going into other spaces, right? Not that you don't love music, and I always sing. I will always be grateful that audiences still listen to our music and still want to hear it and still spend their hard-earned money, going to concerts and stuff. But as the world is evolving and turning into a different place, and attention is the new currency, right? Being able to compel people to follow you and subscribe to your channels, and all that stuff is really important. And by the way, I want to say thank you to everybody because we are almost at 20,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is really huge. um Really, really big. So grateful for that. I know that there are people who have hundreds of thousands of followers, but I appreciate all 20,000 of y'all, or about to be 20,000 of you guys, for taking the time out of your lives and careers and days to subscribe. I really do appreciate it. I have something special coming, you guys. I'm going to make the announcement once we find out what the Supreme Court has ordered in my case. They've made their decision. They've made their decision. It will either be to deny it, which, if I'm honest, if I'm truthful, that is what we're expecting. We are. I know people are like, no, you got to be positive. You got to be optimistic. As long as you keep your head to the sky, you can win. As long as you keep your head to the sky, be optimistic. I am so optimistic. But that optimism has changed over this period of time that, I've been in the Supreme Court. Just because, again, I understand that the court has a lot of really serious, pressing issues. And this is also a very serious, pressing issue because it does rob, minorities, women, Black women in particular, of our opportunities to have generational wealth and wellness in our communities. The reason this is so egregious is because this was about me maintaining ownership of the IP. I've said a million times before, for a judge to say that no reasonable person could look at my facts and my evidence and my claim and see anything similar or see anything worthy of going forward is just really unfair. It is unproven. And it is a sign that there needs to be some reform in how these decisions are made. As I've said a million times, you can't tell me when I've had probably 50,000 people over the course of the last 5 years looking at the comparisons, looking at my evidence online, looking at me, speaking. I've had well over that. I mean, shit, my Funky Geneva video alone was 50,000. You know what I mean? I've probably had close to 500,000, if I'm honest, people, looking at these videos and this content and this evidence and these facts. And to say that 75 or 80% of them agree that something went down and that I deserve to go to trial is probably an understatement. So for a judge to make a determination that a high profile case such as this, that tens of thousands of people would say, hey, I see something that needs to go to trial. I see, a difference here. I could dispute these points that the defendants are making. And, creatively, you should not even just creatively, when we're talking about humanity, just being a human being, just having the right to due process. A criminal has a right to a trial. If you watch my earlier video, if you didn't, please go watch it because it's one of the most detailed explanations of my case. But if you watch my earlier video, you see how Diddy's team came out after he won a not guilty verdict on so many of those cases. I'm sorry, on so many of those charges. And they talked about each and every one of them got up there and they talked about how important it is in this society to be able to have the right to a fair trial. And the fact that I am a civil litigant, a civil litigant, petitioner, um, appellant, um, and I have not been given the opportunity to go before 12 juries after 5 years and millions of dollars spent in legal fees is just proof positive that the system, you know, um, errs in favor of wealthy, moneyed interest. And if I'm very honest, I was hopeful up until the point that I read Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson's dissent a couple months ago, knowing that she's one of the judges who looked at my case on Monday during the long conference. There are 9 justices, and I need 4 of them. I need a total of 4 of the 9 justices to agree that my case should be granted. And I watched a dissent that she wrote, and it was pretty scathing. And she just talked about the fact that, you don't want people to assume that, the court gives priority over corporations and moneyed interest. And, you know, it just reaffirmed for me that this fight, as courageous as I've been through this process, as hopeful as I've been through this process, this fight is not um it is not just about what the truth is, you know? I wish that was the case. Going into it, I was like, hey, listen, I'm armed with the truth and evidence that I left everything with these people. I will have the opportunity to, show the world that I am I have had my intellectual property rights infringed on, and I didn't get that right. I didn't get that right because it's just not something that is guaranteed when you're in a civil case. It is something that only the judges actually have the right to make a decision without you ever seeing a courtroom. And it's disheartening, um, to say the least. Hold on a second. It's disheartening to say the least because, nobody wants to. Did that go out? Hold on. Okay, yeah, it did. Nobody wants to feel like you don't matter. Nobody wants to feel like, the court doesn't care about your case. But when you've been bullied and treated the way that I've been treated, my family has been treated over the last 5 years, you pretty much be like, okay, every single time I've waited for a decision from the court, every single time over the last 5 years, it's been nothing but disappointment. The only time I got what I believe was something halfway encouraging was when and this is really interesting as well. The only time I got something halfway encouraging is when the magistrate judge, who is not the federal judge, the magistrate judge actually in they didn't want me to have a they did not he said like they did not want me to have deposition, right? Um, the federal judge did not want me to be able to depose them or get the evidence that I needed to go forward. And it was the magistrate judge who was like, nah, like she deserves the opportunity. And this CEO and all of these people need to be deposed. So, yeah, we're going to depose them. Now, what's really unfortunate is you guys will never see the deposition just because they redacted everything, which is so unfair to me. If you don't have anything to hide, then let the truth be there for the public to see the way that it is, in most other cases. But unfortunately, they had the power to have everything Katori said, everything that the CEO said, everything that Nico Anand said redacted as if it never even happened. And there were some other things that occurred that I believe were out of order. And honestly, I think, you know, I'm saving that because I got one more chance if the Supreme Court says denies me. I do have one other shot, and that other shot is to appeal that decision with new information. And I also have some new information. Now, that I'm definitely not going to share until you guys see it when I file for reconsideration, but I did get some new information, and it was too late for me to include that information once I found out about it. It was too late for me to include it in this written certiorari, but yeah, we have one more shot after this, and I'm going to make sure that it is filed if they deny me on Monday. So Monday at 9:30 AM, October 6th. Sometimes they do it on Friday, so I might find out tomorrow. Y'all, I've been looking at the Supreme Court website, like, oh my God, saying my prayers and everything before I click on there. Butterflies, nauseous, haven't really, the good thing is I done lost a couple of pounds, excuse me, because my appetite ain't been crazy. Just because I haven't been able to really um, I've been losing sleep, as you can imagine. I have, you know, I've been forcing myself to focus, right, and get things done, but it's just been so hard. My mind just keeps wandering off to like, what did they say? What did they decide? On the 29th, that Monday, I did a day on the hill with my sorority, Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated. Yep, I said my sorors. I got a feeling. I got a feeling so rose. I got a feeling somebody's trying to wear my blue and gold, but it takes a real woman to beat the Sigma Gamma Rho. Oh, I follow. I am, confident that I am where God wants me to be. I would not be making the moves that I'm about to move, that I'm not gonna share make, I'm sorry, that I'm not gonna share with you guys right now, because right now, the issue that has the stage is the writ of certiorari in the Supreme Court. So just real quick, I have 2 speeches that I've prepared. I'm going to pre-record those speeches on Sunday night. I'm going to pre-record those speeches because I don't know that I will mentally, emotionally, physically be able to do it after the decision is made. Now, I'm not gonna do the whole ugly cry online, but I will be capturing everything, um, from here on out. Well, I've been capturing for the last 5 years, but what this will finally give me the opportunity to do is go ahead and get my book finished, "NICCI versus Goliath: A Creative Fight for" a fight for creative justice. Um, I'm playing around with the title a little bit, you know, depending on where things go. But should the Supreme Court of the United States grant my writ of certiorari, which means to know for certain, and I use either way it goes, if it's granted, if it's not granted, I'm probably not gonna be no more good. So I'm probably not gonna be able to say sugar honey iced tea to y'all anyway. So I'm gonna go on ahead and pre-record those and make them available. And then my husband's birthday is the very next day, which is like, oh my God, it's my bonus daughter's birthday, the day of. So I'm like, child, listen, we done found out about the appeals court right before Christmas, the same day my husband buried his father. We done found out about the district court denying us right before the Christmas holiday. So I guess we're beating Christmas. How about that? By the time the Christmas holiday rolls around, we'll be able to give y'all this Army Divas holiday special. Ooh, excuse me, did I say that? I didn't say, ooh, something in my throat. I thought I said Army Divas holidays, but oh, mm-mm. Anyway, ooh, I thought I said something. But anyway, but anyway, we ready. We're ready. We're ready. This day came fast. This day came so freaking fast. What it will mean if the United States Supreme Court decides to grant writ of certiorari in the case of Nikki Gilbert Daniels versus Lionsgate, um, what it will mean is that we have made history. It will mean that we have done something that no other pro se singer slash writer slash creative fighting for creative equity has ever done. The fact that I am doing this and have done this Supreme Court writ myself, without representation, legal representation. I know that also kinda is, like, one of the things that makes this, like, almost next to impossible as well, the fact that I did it myself. Um, you know, a lot of people have said to me, yeah, that part right there is the part that is gonna be, you know, the thing that you have to get over, but they did ask for something called a supplemental appendix, which is amazing. You guys please hit like. A supplemental appendix basically is them saying, "We wanna take a closer look." So, I am not done, no matter what happens on Monday, no matter what the order is from the court. Y'all want me to look right now and see if there's an order? I'm probably here. Shit, I might as well. Let me look while I'm on live with all of us, honey, because they say they posted Monday at 9:30, but it could be sooner just depending on, you know, if they feeling progress enough to leap into it. So, oh, I'm on the wrong thing. Hold on. Let me look it up, y'all. SupremeCourt.gov, baby. Let me search this here docket. Um, ooh, I'm nervous. Should I be doing this live with y'all? Yeah, we family. I get butterflies every time, even though I know what the answer is gonna be. I still okay. Orders of the court. Have they put out any more orders? Nope. Um, nothing so far. Still nothing, y'all. Still nothing, shouty. Look, Monday at 9:30 a.m. We'll know. And I hope the scales are sometimes unbalanced. And together we have all that has to be. I hope you see that you can lean on me. And together we can calm the stormy sea. We love so strong. Man, we got to sing to keep from crying, baby. Got to sing to keep from crying. But no more crying. Actually, I have work to do. Yes. I was about to sing another song, but y'all want me to sing another song? Okay. Oh, I got work to do. I got work, baby. I got work to do. I have to work on doing something that proves that this was not. And let me say this real quick. This is very important. We're almost at an hour. I'm trying to keep this thing in an hour, but this is very important to acknowledge. Um, how do I say this? I didn't lose. No matter what the court says on Monday, no matter what the order reads on Monday, I will never accept or receive that I lost this case. The reason why I will never accept or receive that I lost this case is because I was never given an opportunity to fight it. I mean, it's like going in the ring and somebody tying your hands behind your back, hogtied, and just watching somebody beat the sugar honey iced tea out of you and saying, "Hey, I won that, I won that." That's what this feels like, right? The fact that no jury made the determination, the fact that, information that could have changed things, and made it better and easier for me, was redacted for no good reason. The fact that, we never went to trial. I didn't lose. Public opinion is folks are still scratching their heads. Folks are still as a matter of fact, hold on, let me see something. Let me see how they doing. We finna find this out right quick too. I was supposed to be talking about Tyrese and Cardi B and Nicki Minaj and them. I'll do that tomorrow for Free Fridays. But let's see, stars. Um, what are we? Subscriber. Um, you know what? Let me ask a fair question. How is stars doing in subscribers? Let's find out. And revenue. Let's see how Stars is doing in subscribers and revenue. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Hold on, wait. Let me check the dates. Karma's gonna visit you too. You're gonna pay for the things you put me through. What? That was Keena's song, by the way. Not bad for a girl from the gutter like me. Okay. Oh, yeah. This 6 hours ago. Sip on that tea. Let me tell y'all what I just found. Stars saw revenue fall 8% year over year to 319.7 million amid a loss of 42.5 million as the company bled both linear and streaming subscribers. As it reports, oh, so they're not doing so well. Oh, they're not doing so well. Stars losing subscribers. Oh, yeah. Oh, they're not doing well at all. Oh, no, not at all. Look like I'm not gonna be the only one that's filing for bankruptcy because, they pushed me into bankruptcy. So, especially if the Supreme Court agrees to allow them to get $1 million from me because I don't have it. Wow. So Stars, let's see, Lionsgate revenue losses. Let's see if Lionsgate is losing revenue. Oh, child. Okay, let me stop because I don't want these people to come get my video and say, but this is what the internet done said. The internet done said, let me see something real quick. Let me go to their Wikipedia. Hold on, y'all. We just looking. We just here. We just looking. I mean, it's public information. All I'm doing is looking at some public information with my friends. P Valley, Wikipedia. Let me see something. Let me see something, girl. Okay, not 24 hours. Anytime. Let's see. Anytime. Anytime. Let's see. Okay. Do y'all know they have a lawsuit page on Wikipedia? Let's read it together. On January 2022, in January 2022, American singer and producer, this is on P Valley's Wikipedia page. Now they could probably change that. Just like somebody went and changed it back to I told y'all on quick facts, if you Google it on your phone, it showed me as a creator on Stars Valley, but they done changed it since then because I told somebody else to look at it the other day and it's they changed it back. And they'll probably adjust this, which I ain't got nothing to do with it. I'm not messing with these people's stuff. But let me read y'all what they are saying here because yeah, this is in their Wikipedia page. It says in January 2022, American singer and producer Nikki Gilbert Daniels, if you're nasty, filed a copyright infringement lawsuit against Lionsgate Entertainment, Stars, Legendary Television, Sherman Entertainment. Sherman Entertainment was the company that had the same judge that did this case. So they've gone before this judge twice, and they got the exact same result, pretty much. Thrown out, no substantial similarity, and charged the people who went after them with legal fees. So this judge has dealt with Sherman Entertainment's, maybe not Sherman Entertainment, but uh, the person who runs Sherman Entertainment, I believe his name is Peter Sherman, has been before this judge in the past. P Valley executive producer Liz Garcia and co-executive producers Patrick Ian Polk over the show. Gilbert alleged that the show stole elements from a musical stage play, Sokin's Cabaret, and did, which was released on DVD in 2011. The lawsuit alleged that the entertainment attorney Leroy Bobbitt, yes, that's my attorney, and Gilbert pitched Sokin's Cabaret as a musical TV drama to CEO of Lionsgate, John Feldheimer. Yes, that's him. In Los Angeles, in his office in 2014, and did. The lawsuit alleged Feldheimer was given 2 copies of the play scripts and Sokin's Cabaret DVD, as well as curtains, the dramatic pilot that I was pitching. People are forgetting I did a stage play, but I was pitching a dramatic television series pilot. I was not pitching a stage play or a lighthearted project. It's interesting because if you watch the comparison video, one of the appeals court judges was like, "Oh, Soul Kitten's Cabaret is light and humor and this and that and the third, and P Valley is dark, drugs and this and that and the third." Well, I wasn't pitching to a company like Lionsgate something lighthearted. I was pitching them a dramatic television pilot, and when you say it was light, the lead character is the product of SA and the R word, and we talk about DURGS's, we got G-Pins, pow pows, and all kinds of things in a stage play. Okay, so that ain't lighthearted at all, which is all the more reason why you should pay attention to what the expert had to say. Because as a judge, you just don't know. Judges cannot, they're not creative people like that. They didn't go to school, like the other judge said. Judge Kim McLean Wardlaw said, it's hubris for judges to think that they can go and pick things apart as if they have the knowledge and the experience and theory and all that other stuff to be able to actually do that. And I use that in my writ of certiorari as an example of the split in the court. But anyway, um, Gilbert Daniels proffered expert, hello, Robert H. Aft, opined that P Valley used an overwhelming number of elements from Sokin's Cabaret. However, his expert report was struck. The court does not find Aft's qualifications to be sufficient to consider him an expert on literary analysis involving substantial similarity inquiry. But the judge is. This man has worked as a proffered expert at a company that hires experts all of the time for 30 years. He's 30 years worth of experience as an expert. And you're going to take an expert with 30 years worth of experience and say that a judge knows better than an expert with 30 years of experience about what's similarity and scenes of prayer and whatever else. Miss me with it. Um, on December, they said that it wasn't sufficient for them. On December 7, 2023, the judge ultimately granted summary judgment to the defendants, dismissing the claim. The judge held that no reasonable jury could find the two works to be substantially similar, a necessary predicate for copyright infringement claim, right? So in order for you to bring a claim, the go-to thing where they're winning all of the cases. This is the go-to thing, honey. This is how they win all of the cases. If you look at all of the copyright cases or most of them are based on the fact that they're not substantially similar, right? Because they couldn't go for, "I didn't give the copy of the script," or "There was no access." So you have to prove that you own a copyright, you have to prove that they're similar, and you have to prove that they had access. So because they couldn't prove that I didn't own the copyright, because I did from 2005, and they could not prove that I did not give it to them because I did, and the CEO of the company did not say I did not. He said he cannot remember or cannot recall, and we know what that means in lawsuits. They had to prove the substantial similarity. It wasn't the same, which is crazy to me that anybody could look at the 57 comparisons, including the fact that I left the materials with them and not feel that these things were similar enough to go to trial, but I digress because the judges have all the power, honey, and that is a dangerous precedent. Judicial discretion or lack thereof is a real thing, but we know that we have to change laws at a higher level, right, in order to change that, and guess who finna do it? Anyway, talking too much. Although both works focused on I'm sorry, the judge held that no reasonable juror could find the two works to be similar. This is on their Wikipedia page. This is not something from one of my pages. This is on the P Valley Wikipedia page. Now, mind you, it's probably going to go away tomorrow, but today, if you want to know what's going on with the lawsuit and the fact that P Valley is always going to be connected to who? Nikki Gilbert Daniels, it's on their Wikipedia page. The judge held that no reasonable attorney could find the two works to be substantially similar, a necessary predicate for a copyright infringement claim. Although both works focus on female dancers working in adult entertainment, their expressions of this idea take two very different forms. Moreover, the court observed that Gilbert's descriptions of both works were plagued with mischaracterizations that were sometimes blatant. I'm the writer, honey. I created it. I wrote it. I don't mischaracterize what is on paper. You can't mischaracterize actions that you see happening in color, in moving pictures, like you saw in the play and the DVD and the TV show, but I digress. Moreover, the court observed Gilbert's descriptions of both works were plagued with mischaracterizations that were sometimes blatant. The court held that there were very significant differences in the way that the works make use of unprotectable elements. And it also found that the protectable elements, meaning the things that were not just commonplace for the genre or commonplace for the story, they were meaningfully diverged. Gilbert Daniels appealed the decision. However, the Ninth Circuit, which is the court above the district court, also rejected the opinions of Ms. Gilbert Daniels' expert, Mr. Aft, finding that he was not qualified to offer an opinion on substantial similarities between the works, and a large portion of his supposed opinions were irrelevant and unhelpful. That is ridiculous. The man has 30 plus years of experience, far more experience in copyright than any judge. He worked for the Puzo family, the Godfather people. He wrote a book on chain of title for copyright. He works for a company. Basically, what you're doing is you're basically saying that this man is not qualified. So now you're messing with his ability to go and make money doing what he does for a living. You're saying that he is unqualified to do something. So you are in essence saying that this man should not be doing what he's doing for a living. You're taking, food out of his mouth and money out of his pocket because it just basically he doesn't know what the hell he's doing, and that is so ridiculous when this man has 30 years of experience, far more experience than all of the judges combined. But again, the law bends based on who's trying to get you to exercise it on their behalf. Um, Gilbert Daniels qualified I'm sorry, Gilbert Daniels appealed the decision. However, the Ninth Circuit also rejected the opinions of Ms. Gilbert Daniels' expert, finding that he was not qualified to offer opinion on substantial similarities between the works, and the large portions of the supposed opinions were irrelevant and unhelpful. In addition, regarding Gilbert Daniels' comparisons, the court said caution is especially warranted here, as several of Gilbert Daniels' proffered comparisons reference materials that are not copyrighted. That is not true. That in and of itself is not a true statement. My materials are copyrighted. Everything I gave them and shared with them was copyrighted. Now, the script for the pilot series, Curtains, which is the dramatic series, which I also left with him, there were elements in Curtains that were not in the stage play because it is a pilot for a dramatic series. Meaning we can see cars drive up. We can see people make arrivals. We can see, we got plenty of time. We got 8 to 10 hours versus 1.5 to 2 hours to tell a story. So we can expound and expand and grow the concept of it, right? But the source material, the original copyrighted story is still the same. But because there were elements that I mentioned in my case because I left those materials with the CEO of Lionsgate. Those were copyrighted with the Writers Guild. What they are saying is they were not federally copyrighted with the Copyright Office, but everything else was, and it was all based on that. It was a derivative of that, which is why a proffered expert's opinion is so important in cases like this. It said that the comparisons reference materials that are not copyrighted, mischaracterize the works, or fail to cite directly the materials at issue. The Ninth Circuit affirmed the court's rulings. District Court also awarded the defendants their fees and costs, finding that the defendants achieved a complete success in litigation. They received a complete success in using their money, their power, and their influence to shut me down. What they got, basically. In my opinion, allegedly, is what I think, not what I know for fact, right? It's a lot of other people out here who know things for fact. I'm not gonna be so bold just to say that I know for a fact. I'm just gonna say I assume and I think. Getting hot in here. The district court also awarded defendants their fees, costs to the defendants, achieved a complete success in the litigation, and the plaintiff's choice to take this case. This is where it gets scary for every creative in the future. And this is why I am going real hard for legislation. I'm sorry, oops, I'm not supposed I'm talking too much. This is why I'm not finished. I'm not done. This is why we're going bigger. Because to say the plaintiff's choice to take this case as far as she did was unreasonable. For a judge who I came to for help, for a judge who I came to for protection, for a judge that I came to with hopes that my gender, my race, my economic status, my class, none of those things would matter when it comes to the truth. I'm not saying that they did. I'm just saying. For someone to say, and I quote, for the plaintiff to make the choice to take this case as far as she did was unreasonable. It was unreasonable. Y'all, Imma say this again with my chest. It was unreasonable based on what the judge has said for me to come to court and fight for my intellectual property rights. Even though the CEO of Lionsgate said out of his own mouth that they gave Katori Hall $100 million to produce a substantially similar story with the same beginning, middle, and end. It was unreasonable for me, an independent, underfunded Black woman creative, to come to a judicial system asking for a right to a trial. It was unreasonable for me to ask for the court to help protect me against a multi-billion-dollar company with lots of money and lots of power and ability to squash me. It was unreasonable for me to fight for my rights. It was unreasonable, and as a result, I'm going to punish you by making you pay all of it. They got billions of dollars, y'all. They're taking my grandkids' college educations away from them. They're forcing my family into bankruptcy. They're forcing us to have to start over from the bottom, which we ain't never scared. We walk in mud all the time. So we never scared. We just gonna start it from the bottom. Now we here. It is what it is. I'm still gonna create great shit. I'm still gonna be dope AF. I'm still going to be in your face every single day talking about how unjust this system is until a change happens. And Imma dedicate every resource I have from now into perpetuity into making sure that we continue to fight for creatives' intellectual property rights because old hat to be worried about being all up in the videos dancing and acquiescing to bullsh sugar honey iced tea, that we do not have any generational wellness or wealth building opportunities from. We create all of this magical stuff, and 99% of us lose when we try to stand up and protect it. And we lose because a judge makes a decision as harsh as the ones that have been made in my case to say that my choice to take this case as far as I did was unreasonable, and as a result, you are penalizing me with fees that I have to pay that I don't have. So now I have to file bankruptcy, which is gonna set us back 10 years or better, and you never allowed me to go to trial. We know what that is, y'all. We ain't even gotta say it. And trust me, we can't say it because freedom of speech ain't really a real thing either, right? I mean, I'm just saying, I'm asking for a friend. In December 2024, Gilbert filed an appeal with the United States Supreme Court, who will reach a decision on whether to grant certiorari on September 29, 2025. So that meeting has already happened. They were in a closed door conference room, um, and I want to say that whatever the Supreme Court decides in Gilbert Daniels versus Lionsgate, the paperwork is already always gonna be there. My book is gonna include this whole entire case, even the redacted pages, so y'all can just kind of look at it and figure out what maybe people were saying. It's gonna include everything. My documentary film is gonna include every ugly snot-faced cry, every fight to save our property. Our house went into foreclosure, right? Not now, by the grace of God, but baby, I want creatives to understand how serious this journey has been for us. I want creatives to know that even if your sister or your mother or someone you love is on their deathbed in hospice, that major corporations don't give a sugar honey iced tea about it. I begged those people to give me a break when my sister was dying, letting them know I was her primary caregiver, and they gave me a bird. They didn't literally, but first they said they were gonna roll with it. Please like, share, subscribe, and then they decided that they were going to, you know, wait up until it was gonna be too late for me to file. But thank you, Justice Kagan, for at least giving me the extension to file. Mhm. So we got that case in there. Hey, J-Rock. I find it hard that Tamron Hall, no news stations, no talk shows, not one journalist hasn't invited you on their show to talk about your case because Sherry Shepherd is owned by Lionsgate. Wendy Williams' show was owned by Lionsgate, and me and Sherry are friends. So I don't expect her to lose her job having me on her show. I don't think she has the power to determine whether or not I can show up there. Hall is a P Valley. I thought that, she was someone who cared about, the journalism aspect of things and unpacking really important stories and cases, especially things that impact Black women, but only certain people. You know what I mean? I've said before, I sat there and watched her say something to an actress about um, a movie that she was in that Tamara Hall was like, "That sounds real similar to Beyonce. That sounds real similar to somebody we know." And there wasn't even a claim there. I had a whole claim. I've been fighting a whole fight. I've been fighting a whole but again, we don't know who knows who. Here's the deal, the deck is stacked. These people own everything. These people have the power to call a friend and say, "Hey, listen, shut that down." And they exercise that right every single time, you know? Which is why we have to reimagine what it looks like to be $1.2 trillion dollars in buying power as a collective, as women of color. See, I'm not talking to them no more. Ain't no need for me to be talking to judges. Ain't no need for outside of what I'm doing with the Supreme Court. And we gonna be in court for a minute. It ain't even over after the Supreme Court because this new information that I discovered that I did not have time to include in my Supreme Court writ, but this new information will be included in a reconsideration motion if they deny me, and might be filed as a completely separate case once these people finish looking into what I've asked them to look into, because it was some, fraudulent things, in my opinion, that happened across the board, and we're just gonna verify that, and before I mention too much about it, I wanna just make sure that I dot my I's and to cross my T's. That's definitely not something that I can talk about or play with until we know for sure, but based on some new information that has come to me, oh, we're going to definitely be asking for a reconsideration of it if they don't grant the writ, and if they do grant the writ of certiorari, which is what we're praying for, it will be coming up in the case. So that's that. You know who needs to interview you, Shannon Sharp needs an interview. I bet after you do an interview on Shannon Sharp, more people will get invested in your case. I'm just saying, you know what? I really wish that people being more invested in my case could actually change the law, but it can't. No matter how many people, this is the cold hard reality of it. Reality number one is when the court grants my writ, I have to go back to the same judge who basically told me that I shouldn't have I was doing too much by bringing the case to this courtroom, number 1. So I have to go back to the same person because that is how the laws are established. That is the precedent that has been set, that is what happens. So I gotta go back to him and start all over from the beginning if they grant it. And, if they deny it, then, I got one more opportunity to present this evidence and hope that they see it. But my point is just people in the community, as much as it would have helped, this is how it would have helped. This is how it would have helped. It would have helped the same way it helped Cassie in the Diddy case. Maybe not the same way in terms of the amount of attention because it's Cassie and Diddy. But the way the whole Cassie and Diddy thing compelled Diddy's team to settle, if Tamron Hall and Deadline.com and The Hollywood Reporter and some of these other places that like, here's the gag, ABC News had a whole special with someone who accused TP of doing something inappropriate with him. This guy just has a claim that he just now filed. I have a legitimate claim in a civil case that could blow the roof off of opportunities for creatives to have a level playing field in this judicial system, and people ignore it because it's they friends, they don't wanna mess up their bag. They don't have no loyalty. It's kinfolk and kinfolk all the time, which is why I said I understand some of the sentiment of what Kelly was saying. I think her generalization was too broad. I think the attack on DEI folks was unnecessary, and I think that the delivery lacked compassion and empathy for people who did not do that, but I understand when you say because at the end of the day, at the appeals court, when you look at the tape, if you guys go back and look at the AI breakdown of my appeal, there's a Black woman on judge judge on the panel of judges, and the one positive thing I got out of the court, I didn't get from that judge, I got from the non-Black woman, and if I had 2 of them, the non-Black woman and the Black woman judge, I would have had an opportunity, probably a much better opportunity to get, further ahead with my case. So, like I said, the law is the law is the law, and the law is created based on people who have the ability to pay for it. And it's impossible to think that the playing field could ever really truly be level because as long as someone has way, way, way more money than you and way more opportunity to, you know, do whatever they do with their resources, you know, and people don't care about the truth, and people don't care about the little person who does not have millions of dollars, um, the families that will be destroyed for generations as a result of these decisions that these district and federal judges are making. Like, the appeals court judge if I had gotten a different set of appeals court judges, then I would have been in much better shape, y'all. Not even gonna hold y'all up. The appeals court judge, Judge Kim McLean Wardlaw or Judge Paez, even, there was an appeals court judge who argued the Shape of Water case, and he said if I'm a company being accused of copyright infringement or any form of plagiarism, I want it to go to a jury. I want 12 jurors to say, "Oh, no, ma'am, you're tripping. This did not happen. You're bugging." Just so that you can recover. Katori, sis, no matter how you try to destroy my family and take everything that we have because you got powerful people behind you financing whatever you're doing, right? Or allegedly, maybe, perhaps, I don't know. But no matter how hard you work to destroy our family, karma, number 1, is a great equalizer. You're gonna feel it, right? So at the end of the day, the season is not coming back, not because of me, because of karma, and also probably because you guys have been waiting to see how this thing with the Supreme Court goes to determine whether or not you can go forward, right? And as soon as the Supreme Court denies my writ, I'm sure you'll hear about the announcement of the new season of P Valley coming. So from that perspective, maybe my case did have a little something to do with the delays. But I choose to believe that God and the universe and karma is moving in ways that I can't control. I don't understand, but I can only be grateful for because I always said, I'm the type of person who, if we gonna go tumbling down, if you gonna throw me off a cliff, I'm wrapping myself around you and we going down that mug together, falling on the sword. Please believe it. Please understand. Please understand because you've attacked my family. You've attacked my livelihood. You've attacked my reputation. Not literally. It is how I feel, right? Because we don't want nobody to take the video. "You attacked, you did this, you did that," and then they, like, suing me for money I ain't got. But the point is just, I wanted to work this out amicably. I did not want this to be any of this. I did not want this to be loud. I did not want this to be obnoxious. I did not want this to be 2 Black women fighting one another. I honestly did not want any of the negative, toxic, destructive stuff that goes along with these litigations, right? I definitely didn't wanna send my family through it, my grandson, I wanted to be able to spend time with my sister while she was dying of brain cancer at 49 years old and not have this hanging over our family's head for the last 18 months I shared with my sister and her life because greedy reeling in. This is going to sound very strange. Maybe the judges don't care because the play has LGBTQ characters dressing. Listen, listen, I'm not even going to hold you up. The way trans people are being highlighted here in this here world today, there could be a whole lot of other reasons why this thing ain't coming back. And the bottom line is, if Katori had ownership of it, she could put it out either way. So I don't know if she has ownership. I assume that she does not. Because if she had ownership of it, she could just be like, "No, we're gonna release the episodes on this here day. This what it's finna be." I don't believe that she has that kind of power. Um, and again, this is not about you guys, I don't want y'all to think for 5 minutes that this is about me wishing them ill will. I don't wanna see nobody suffer. I know, I love Brandy Davis. I think she's so talented. I love Lil Murda. I think he's super talented. The only positive is that those people will be able to get back to work, because they do deserve the opportunity to provide for their families. I know Brandy is a caregiver for her mom, so I really hope, that that is resolved, right? But what I will not be is, a coward or someone who does not, um, have enough faith in God and what happens after I leave here, um, that I allow fear and the feeling that if I don't agree or don't speak up for myself and just take it laying down, that everything is gonna be okay and I'll have opportunity and people will like me and things will be better. We have done that as a community of people for so many years, especially here in this entertainment industry. When I was at Congressional Black Caucus this past week, I was in school. I was learning so much about our community and the impact of the music and the impact just relearning, right? Affirming and getting reacquainted with the idea of the change that needs to happen in order for our community to thrive. Right now, everything is so toxic, everything is so destructive, everything is so negative, everything is so dark. And those of us who are trying to change that, those of us who are trying to add more positive storytelling opportunities and characters that shape our culture in more positive ways, characters that give our kids something to be proud of and something to look forward to. Those of us that are creating those types of things, we are always left out of the opportunity. The door is always closed. The door is closed, right? Nene Leakes' voice on us because they know what we will do will bring opportunity and amplify voiceless people who deserve it. Our community deserves a shot. When you look at the SA cases, when you look at what's happened with Diddy, when you look at what Tyler's accused of, when you think about Bill Cosby, when you think about all of these men in these powerful positions, and listen, I love Black men. And I don't know that any of the stuff that has been said about certain people is true because I wasn't there. But I do know that women have a certain sensitivity and sensibility that would help guide this entertainment industry in a better direction. I know that women, Black women in particular, are a $1 trillion economic buying power collectively. And I know that we can galvanize that. And I know that we can work together to build that. There's no reason why Taraji P. Henson should have been paid what she was paid on set of those movies. There's no reason why the narrative has to be the angry Black woman or the harlot or the hyper-focused Black woman who leaves her family and don't want no man and, got an Oprah Winfrey complex. We are so multi-layered. We are so multi-dimensional. We are so dope AF. Why can't we tell our own stories? Why are our stories good enough to make billions of dollars for other people, but we cannot capitalize and monetize off of those stories? Why can we not pass down generational wealth and wellness and legacy to our babies? Why can't we have economic uh, equity and equality when we're creating these things? When we're creating these things. If you go to fromthebottomupfoundation.org, fromthebottomupfoundation.org, and you click on Creatives Coalition, you will find that we have a brief, a legislative brief. We are about to get everybody and their mama involved in supporting this legislative brief. It is the Creatives Partnership Act because we believe that as creatives, we should be entitled to some piece of ownership of the things that we create. You got George Clinton going through stuff. You got Salt and Pepper going through stuff. You had Prince going through stuff. You got every artist, Michael Jackson going through stuff. When is enough enough? When is an opportunity for us to build generational wealth and wellness for our families and communities, to help our kids make better choices, to help our kids make better decisions, to prepare better food for them to consume? We got problems with babies not being able to have their lunch in Detroit public schools right now. Do you understand? We have issues right now due to the government shutdown where babies are being told that they have to pay for their own lunch, and they don't have no lunch money. And our celebrities and our influencers and our power players, why don't you know? Why don't we know this? Why isn't this a major story? Why aren't we coming together to figure out how to make sure these babies have food so they can get their educations and not be distracted by their stomachs being empty? Because we don't have platforms that give a flying frog leg. Everybody's so worried about who beefing with who's stealing from who, and who's sleeping with who. We don't even care about the fact that our babies can't go to school and get lunch. Collectively, we have $1.2 trillion in buying power. It doesn't make sense. Divest from people who don't care about our babies not having lunch. Divest from people who want to show a constant image and narrative of us selling crack, selling DRUGSs, and banging each other in the streets all the time. All of those stories that we have glorified, all that gangsters that we are glorifying on those platforms that are already losing subscribers. Y'all already unsubscribing from stars based on what we just read here on this here Nice with Nikki episode. So you might as well go full throttle with it. They're bankrupting a Black woman who has done nothing but add value to my community in terms of the content I've created, in terms of the employment opportunities that I've created, in terms of the employee opportunities I will continue to create, the panels that I've done, the discussions that I've had, how I've stood in the gap, how I've stood up and shown up for people who would not piss on me if I was on fire. And we are giving them the tools to destroy my family by subscribing to their network and their platform. If y'all don't like that narrative and that stuff they doing over there, unsubscribe all the way. They haven't lost enough subscribers as far as I'm concerned. And while I cannot and do not have the power to pay for lawyers and these people and those people and them people to win in a court of law, in the court of public opinion, I'm going to win. In the court of public I already know these listen, we done already found out that it's all kind of little sidebar shenanigans that are happening because they want to shut me down, right? But the message is going to resonate with the people that are supposed to resonate with, right? And I'm not afraid of people dragging me through the mud and creating lies and making up shit about me or attacking me and attacking my finances and attacking everything else because guess what? I understand that that's what happens to people when they speak truth to power. But my daddy always told me, as did my husband, don't die with the truth in you. Make sure the people know. This is a historic record. And guess what? We're not going to just have to rely on these public platforms for our sugar honey iced tea to get to the people, baby. So I am grateful to my sorority, Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated. I'm grateful for all the women and men of the Divine Nine, 4 million strong plus. And I've shifted my focus into the spaces that care about me, the places that recognize me. What we have coming once we get through this Supreme Court situation is so freaking fire and dope and amazing and incredible, and I cannot wait to share it with y'all. They have done nothing but fuel. Come on, baby, light my fire. Stop it. Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. And guess what? The other thing that I've learned is that it is all about something that is going to be sustainable for the future. It ain't about me. It ain't about me being the boss that owns everything because I don't own anything at this point. What it's about is pouring those assets that I did have into a structure where our community can always live and thrive and grow and become educated and become informed and become inspired. And using my platform to highlight the inequities, using my platform to point out the people who have done us wrong and treated us like sugar honey iced tea, using my allies and resources and galvanizing the women and men who support me, who look like me, who take this very seriously and really care about our people. You know what? I the reason I talk about the lip bar so much, what's ooh, baby, this is gonna be a 2-hour live. The reason I talk about the lip bar so much and amplify and highlight, Black women-owned businesses is because I remember when they went on the Shark Tank. And I remember when they told them it'll never work. When they told them it was ridiculous. They didn't use those very words, but the sentiment was the same. And to watch, this incredible brand just grow and thrive and having a store in downtown Detroit. And even though there was the whole Target thing and, a couple of other things have transpired that have put them in maybe a little bit of a valley, I don't know. Even with Uncle Nearest, same example. Black women owning our sugar honey iced tea, Black women having control of something amazing and spectacular, baby, it gets up under their skin so deep. Baby, it just gets on their nerves so bad. Damn, 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 damn. Especially those of us who are golden enough to understand that nothing matters except making sure that you tell the truth while you can, especially if it inspires other people, especially if it motivates them to grow beyond the box that we're put in. You guys, we have been stolen from forever. The dope things that we have created have been taken from us at every turn. If we had ownership and equity in the things that we created that have made billions of dollars for other people, our community would be so much better off, y'all, I promise you. Our babies would be so much stronger. Our kids would be so much more educated. We'd have more doctors, we'd have more lawyers, we'd have more therapists, we'd have less trauma, we'd have fewer drugs addicts. We would have so much more positive things happening in our community if we were able to retain and build based on the things that we've created that have done that for other communities. It is just not fair. And the Creatives Coalition and the Creatives Partnership Act is going all the way to make sure that legislation affords us the opportunity to right what has been done wrong for centuries. For centuries, they have taken our ideas. For centuries, they have handicapped us financially, emotionally, right? Nothing but debt, 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 and fear. Because if you better not say nothing, 'cause mouth go debt. What? Baby Harriet Tubman in this. See Dolores Tucker in this. You understand? Because why not? Because why not? Because why not? We are here. And for all you bubble heads who are mad that P Valley has taken this amount of time, for all you people who don't know me but don't like me, that just don't even really make no sense. But Imma let y'all live in that world. 'Cause I know some of y'all ticks away from the boom, so Imma let you live in that world. But for those of you with small minds and small ideas who don't understand what it means to be a underfunded, single entity Black woman in the Supreme Court of the United States of America with a case that has merit, with a case that could change the trajectory of other cases and other underfunded plaintiffs forever. Someone who is finally brave enough to get all the way to the top of the food chain, all the way to the top of the mountain, to change something that isn't just about my ego, that isn't just about me wanting to tear down Katori Hall and to destroy Lion that's not what it's about. It's about finally being brave enough and finally being confident enough to create a lane that allows us to have some equity and some equality and some of what we deserve for the things that we create, whether it's music, whether it's art, whether it's a hair care product, whether it's television series, whatever it is valuable. It is a preeminent business asset, and they have been taking them from us and taking them from us and breaking us all the way down. And listen, y'all, I don't have shit but the truth. That's it. And my family intact by the grace of God. But outside of that, we have nothing to offer except the truth and the story. We have to take autonomy over everything we own, period. That's it. And the other thing is, we have to understand that we don't just own the stories. We have to own the platforms or at least be partners. That's the reason why I like YouTube. YouTube, I like y'all. And, I like them all, but I love YouTube. And one of the reasons why I love YouTube is because and Twitter, y'all been showing up as well. I appreciate that. But one of the reasons why I really love YouTube is that they refer to us as partners. I'm a member of the YouTube Partner Program. I am a partner at YouTube. We are partners. They provide the platform, I provide the content. We got a good little marriage going on. Now that coin could go up significantly based on, how well I do, how many more followers I get, how many of y'all like and share and subscribe and push this video out and whatnot. But the opportunity to be seen as a partner is so great. It's so encouraging. It's so positive. It's so forward thinking. And that's the reason why we fight, because we want partnership. Nobody wants to just buy me, I own it, it's my shit. That's not what this is about. That ain't what I'm trying to do. That's not who I'm trying to be. But I do believe I'm entitled to have some ownership and some autonomy, as you said, celebrity, over the things that I create. That don't even sound right. How do you create a song or a story, a script, a product? How do you create something and just have it taken from you? And then to not know that you need millions of dollars in order to defend the property, and that, it's like it's like the string that just never stops coming, you know what I mean? You just like, "Wait, when does this when does this end? What the heck?" And the string just when people have that kind of money and those kind of tricks, you can't win unless the system levels the playing field. So to the Supreme Court of the United States, I beg of you, look not just at Gilbert Daniels versus Lionsgate. Look at 99.9% of the cases where plaintiffs lose, and there are tons of them out there. And ask yourself, in an industry, in a business where far too often Hollywood and major corporations in Hollywood, not one in particular, but as a general statement, most people think there is some form of corruption. There's some form of payola. There's some form of, pay to play, acquiescing to there you think when you think Hollywood, you think this isn't just me saying this because of my case. When you think Hollywood, you think, "Mm," 'cause everybody told me, "Ooh, child, you ain't gonna never not because you don't have a case, but they ain't gonna never let you," you know? And I ask the justices, "Is that fair? Is that justice for all? We need y'all to help protect us, Supreme Court." I know I'm just a big mouth girl from Detroit. You might not like my tone. You might not like my delivery. You may not have time in your day because you're fighting for much bigger issues, but those issues of poverty, those issues that the courts are fighting so hard to help the average democratic American, because, I'm starting to believe that Democrat is code word for black, but, I digress. I mean, non-black Democrats as well, but I mean, okay, okay. Help us. Use this opportunity, please. Please use this opportunity to prove that everybody deserves a fair shot, because I didn't get one. And not only did I not get one, so many other creatives like me who are underfunded did not get the chance. Did not stand a snowball's chance in hell. They told me I asked ChatGPT. That's why I'm so ready for what these people are gonna say. Because baby, I asked ChatGPT what my chances were of the Supreme Court granting my writ, and they said, like, point, dot 1, dot half of a point, dot not really, you can forget about it, dot 0. They said I don't stand a chance at all. And what kind of statistics and what kind of odds? This is a good case. Everybody knows this is a good case. Now, I'm not saying that I should absolutely win it. Well, I am, but, I can't really say that, but I am saying that I deserve an opportunity for a jury of my peers to look at the evidence to determine whether 1 person or 2 people or 7 people, because that's all you need. I'm coming, baby. 7. All we need are 7, and if we can get to 7 folks, we need 4 justices to agree to hear my case, and then once we get to trial, we need 7 people to see that based on all the evidence, I've been infringed upon or not. And I promise you this is the deal that I will make. If I went to trial and the jury was like, Girl, I don't know what you was thinking about, but these ain't no parts of the same, absolutely not. I would leave well enough alone and walk away from it feeling like, "Yeah, you lost." You might win some, but you just lost one. You might win some, but you just lost one. It's funny how money changes situations. You might win some, but you just lost one. I'll be like, "I lost." But the fact that I have not gone to court, the fact that I have not gone before a jury, the fact that I have been denied due process, the fact that my proffered, experienced, 30-year experienced expert report was thrown out, the fact that I gave my materials to these I gave it to them, y'all. Excuse me, Supreme Court, is this thing on? Test, test, test. I gave them the materials, but they won't consider that because they're saying that they're not similar enough for them to even look at it. That's not fair. It's not fair, it's not right, and it's not gonna fly. Katori, I got news for you, sis. She even said she even said that when she went to the meeting with the company, that they were swapping story ideas together with the CEO. She said it with her own mouth. It's online right now. She said, "When I went and pitched the story to P-Val, they I was swapping story ideas with the CEO." Y'all, she said that. So if you were swapping story ideas, can we go through a discovery process and a trial so we can find out what those ideas were? Did any of those ideas involve a casino? Because Katori did not have a casino in her first play. There was no casino plot in the play that she did in Minnesota. There was no casino plot. There was no homophobic antagonist. All those things that have been in my stage play that has been online available for everybody to see since 2011, and all those things that I pitched to the CEO of Lionsgate to say that my character is not gay enough, but his name is Tata Burlesque. Tata meaning auntie burlesque to their Uncle Clifford. Nobody believes y'all. Nobody believes you. But we believe that y'all have enough money and power to make a big press announcement that you won. And that's what's gonna happen. When the Supreme Court grants them this writ of certiorari, or I'm sorry, denies me and rules in favor of them, if that is what happens. It's gonna be press everywhere. They ain't said nothing about nothing in the last empty years, and trust me, when the Supreme Court if the Supreme Court rules in their favor, it's gonna be everywhere. Lionsgate defeats Nikki Gilbert once and for all. The case is dead. There's nothing else. Oh, but it's not because we got one more chance. Oh, but it's not. We got one more chance. And be careful because this one little smoking gun that we done found that we're gonna include in this request for them to reconsider if they do deny it. Oh, that's something for you to think about. Oh, it's something for you to scratch your head and wonder how she figured that out. Because we got An Angel of Mine. You never know when people show up for you. And I got information that I'm gonna be sharing with the Supreme Court if my case gets denied. Well, I'm gonna go share it either way. If it goes through, it's gonna be added to my case, and if it does not go through, it will be added to my appeal. And once I have appealed this decision, then it's technically over. So and that's not an altogether bad thing, y'all. Because guess what? I'm tired, and right now I'm hot. Ooh, Jesus. Okay, and my husband is like, "Okay, the show needs to be over." This is a 2-hour show, and it's a 2-hour show because I haven't seen you guys in a long time, and, yeah, it says, "Oh, it's most definitely gonna be all over the press, talk shows, news stations, and social media if you lose your case." Absolutely. Yeah, but again, let's reframe that. I am not going to lose my case until I've gone to trial and the jury has ruled in favor of the defendant. My opportunity to argue my case was taken from me, and that is way different than losing it. So you will never get me to admit that I lost this case. You can take everything from me except my ability to frame it how I wanna frame it, and the way that I wanna frame it is that I was never given an opportunity to go to trial. Someone says, "Chris, is this the lawsuit they haven't put out?" I'm sorry, is this lawsuit why they haven't put out any of the seasons of P-Valley? All they need to do is pay you and give you credit. No, that's not all they need to do, Chris. I don't know if this is the reason why. I have no idea if this is the reason why the case has not come out. I believe in karma, so I do believe that, like Tina says in Girlfriend Together, "Karma's gonna visit you too. You're gonna pay for the things you put me through." Baby, y'all get that Girl from the Gutter album. Get grown folks too on all platforms. Um, I don't want credit and a check. I want ownership of the IP that I created. Is this thing on? I want ownership of the IP that I created. If you felt like it was worth $100,000,000 that you gave Katori Hall, that is the number we'll be starting with. You saw $100,000,000 in value when you gave it to Katori Hall. Why should it be any less valuable when you discover if you discover that I'm the original creator of the story? So, I don't want a check and a credit. I want my daddy's records, and if you watch Frank Sanford& and Son, you know where that comes from. I want my daddy records. See, even on Sanford& and Son, they've been taken from us since the beginning of time. Who is they? The same they that they be talking about when they say they, them, those. Okay, guys, I'm hot, I'm sweaty. This is a 2-hour live. I will be back tomorrow. Yes, most definitely. Thank you, Chris. I will have ownership. And Monday at 9:30 AM, the Supreme Court of the United States is going to put the orders on their website. It'll be available for everyone to see. We gonna be alright. We're gonna be better than alright. No matter what they say, we will be okay. And I'm not expecting to win this thing, um, at the level of the courts. It will be a miracle if the Supreme Court allows me to go forward. It will be a miracle. There can be miracles if you believe. Yes, I believe in miracles. Okay, I believe in you. Okay, Imma stop. Anyway, I love and appreciate y'all for taking the time out of your busy schedules to hang out with me on Nights with Nikki. Imma go back and look and see how this TikTok thing I don't know what the TikTok thing look like. I don't know if y'all got teeth and black gums and all kinds of stuff, but at the end of the day, I'm able to stream from my desktop to TikTok through this new streaming platform, and I love that. I am going live tomorrow night. Yes, I'm gonna try to get on here at 10:30, so please make sure you guys join me tomorrow night. Yes, please hit like, share, and subscribe. If you want a breakdown of the case, hi, Firebomb TV, I see you. If you would like a breakdown of the case, let me see something. Oh, boom! Okay, see, I told you guys I was using a new app. Hello, everyone. So I can bop y'all in here. Okay. If you want to get a breakdown, probably one of the most legit hold on, let me see, like, share, and subscribe. One of the most legit breakdowns that we have of this case, if you would like that, then please, I wrote that so ugly. Then please do me the kind favor of checking out the post before this one, and it'll give you a really I'm done, babe, I'm wrapping up. It'll give you a really solid, uh view of the case. Okay. Thank y'all for tuning in to Nights with Nikki. I appreciate you all. And tell a friend to tell a friend. Nights with Nikki is back again. I'll see y'all tomorrow.